The journey we are about to take will take us back centuries and even further. We will begin in a time when this island was home to a couple of unique kinds of dog: the Plains Indian dog and the short-nosed Indian dog. These were not the dogs we know today. They were something different, something wilder, a true island original. We will even touch upon the story of Juana Maria, the lone woman of San Nicolas, a link to the distant past. From there, we will meet the island fox. This tiny, clever carnivore is a testament to adaptation. It is a dwarf compared to its mainland relative, the mainland gray fox, which is perfectly suited to hunting small prey in dunes and scrubland. The island fox's story is one of resilience. We will look at the challenges it has faced, new predators and devastating diseases, and celebrate its remarkable journey back from the very brink of extinction. But our story does not end there. We will talk about species long forgotten like the Pygmy Mammoth, or more recent ones like feral cats. San Nicolas was once home to a different collection of animals and plants, some of which vanished after humans and their companions arrived. Finally, we will return to the present day. We will discover what lives on San Nicolas Island now. From the massive colonies of sea lions and seals that crowd the beaches, to the different seabirds that nest on its cliffs, this island is still teeming with life. We will see how conservation efforts are working to protect this precious sanctuary. This is a story about the past, but it is also a story about the future. This is Jason, your guide. Let's go. San Nicolas Island sits far out in the Pacific Ocean. It is the most remote of California's 8 channel islands. It is over 60 miles from the nearest point of the mainland. This distance is important. It has always been separate, like its own little world. It's mostly a flat plateau, a land of sand and rock rising gently from the sea. No tall mountains and no deep forests. There are dramatic cliffs dropping to a rocky shoreline, dropping to wide, sandy beaches, and the wind never seems to stop. It carves sandstone into strange shapes and keeps vegetation low to the ground. Wind and salt spray create a harsh environment where only the most resilient life can thrive. Life here is defined by the ocean. The cold, nutrient-rich waters of the California Current flow around the island, supporting an incredible abundance of marine life. The shores are full of activity. There are huge colonies of seals and sea lions on the beach resting and breeding. For thousands of years, San Nicolas Island was not empty of people or animals. It was home to the Nicoleño people. Before them were the Pygmy Mammoths that died out over 10,000 years ago. They built special boats called tomols, crafted from planks, sealed with tar. These boats let them travel between islands and the mainland. They fished. They hunted marine mammals. They gathered shellfish from the rocky shores. They lived in villages, leaving behind signs we can still find today. Shell middens, vast heaps of discarded shells, and tools made from bone and stone. This long history came to a sad and abrupt end in the 19th century. Russian and Aleut fur traders began hunting sea otters across the islands. Eventually, the remaining Nicoleño were removed to mainland missions. But in the chaos of the 1835 evacuation, one woman was left behind. Her name is lost to history. We call her Juana Maria, the lone woman of San Nicolas. For 18 years, she lived entirely alone on the island. She survived using the old ways. She built shelters from whale bones and brush. She made clothes from cormorant skins. She lived on the fish and roots the island provided, and her dogs helped her find food and provide companionship. When she was found in 1853, she was the last of her people. Juana Maria's story is a heartbreaking reminder of the island's human history. In the mid-19th century, ranchers brought sheep to San Nicolas. This was catastrophic for the island's plant life. The sheep were left to roam free, and their numbers grew rapidly. They ate native grasses. They ate shrubs down to the bare soil. Without roots to hold the sand, constant wind began blowing the soil away. The island transformed into a shifting desert of sand dunes. This process, called erosion, destroyed habitats for many native plants and animals. The introduction of new animals did not stop with sheep. They brought dogs, they brought cats, they brought pigs. These animals were not native and had a devastating impact. Dogs and cats preyed on unsuspecting wildlife. They targeted the small island fox. Pigs rooted through the soil, destroying plant roots, digging up archaeological sites. The landscape of San Nicolas was altered, and the animal community changed forever. It was a stark lesson in unintended consequences. How do we know so much about the people and animals that lived on San Nicolas Island long ago? The answer lies buried in the sand. One of the most important sources of information is the shell middens, or piles of shells that are ancient garbage piles. They are the detailed archives of the Nicoleño diet and the marine environment. The tools found among the shells, fish hooks made of bone, abalone tools, tell us how people were catching their food. The bones of animals tell another crucial part of the story. Most fascinating, perhaps, are the bones of the island's ancient dogs. By studying the shape of these bones and analyzing their DNA, we can learn about the size of these dogs, 20 to 50 pounds, their diet, their relationship to other dogs. The story of these dogs is also linked to the story of Juana Maria. When she was found, she was not entirely alone. It was reported that she had her dogs with her. Accounts vary, but it is said that the sailors who rescued Juana Maria shot her dogs. With her departure, the last living link to this unique lineage of dogs was likely severed forever. The island's original dog was lost to time. These prehistoric dogs are now extinct. Their bones, resting in the island's sands, are a silent testament to a world that has long since disappeared. While the island dog has vanished, another remarkable canine still roams San Nicolas Island. This is the island fox. This small stature is a classic example of what scientists call island dwarfism, an adaptation to living in a place with limited resources. It hunts insects, mice, lizards. It also eats the fruits of native plants. This flexible diet allows it to thrive. However, the arrival of golden eagles from the mainland in the 1990s was catastrophic. The eagles found the small foxes to be easy prey. Faced with this crisis, biologists launched an ambitious recovery program. This involved capturing the remaining foxes for a captive breeding program. Safe from eagles, they began to breed. Pups were born, and the population grew, all in the safe enclosure, kind of like a tiny Noah's Ark. Meanwhile, another team tackled the wild threat. Golden eagles had to be removed, because they eat the baby foxes. At the same time, American bald eagles were reintroduced. Their presence helps keep golden eagles away. With the threat gone, captive bred foxes were released back into the wild. The recovery was miraculous. The fox population exploded. Today, the island fox is a common sight once again thanks to conservation efforts. If you were to walk the shores of San Nicolas Island today, the first thing you would notice is the sheer abundance of life connected to the sea. You would see the impressive brown pelican. Their recovery is a conservation success story, and San Nicolas is a vital part of it. Among the pelicans, you would find many other types of birds, western gulls, cormorants, and more. Looking down from the cliffs, you would witness one of the great spectacles of the natural world. San Nicolas Island is home to one of the largest and most important pinniped rookeries on the planet. The enormous northern elephant seals are perhaps the most dramatic. The huge males battle for dominance on the sand. Alongside the elephant seals, you will find California sea lions. Harbor seals, more shy and reclusive, can be seen lounging on more secluded rocks and coves. Offshore, it is common to see pods of dolphins, and during their migration seasons, gray whales and even mighty blue whales pass by the island's shores. Despite the incredible successes, the work of protecting San Nicolas Island is never finished. The most persistent threat is that of invasive species. Every person and every piece of equipment that comes to San Nicolas must go through a strict inspection process. It is a painstaking and expensive process, but it is absolutely essential. Beyond the threat of new invasions, the island also faces the global challenge of an ever-changing planet. Rising sea levels could threaten the low-lying beaches. More frequent and severe droughts could put additional stress on the island's unique plants and the animals, like the fox that rely on them, or things could totally get back to normal or better. No one really knows. What we do know is the remarkable recovery of wildlife on San Nicolas Island is the result of a powerful and sometimes unlikely partnership. At the center of this collaboration is the U.S. Navy. Working hand in hand with the Navy are teams of dedicated scientists and conservationists. It is a model of how different groups can work together towards a common goal. There is also a deep respect for the island's cultural history. This recognizes that the human story and the natural story of the island are deeply connected. This collaborative model is what gives hope for the future of San Nicolas Island. It shows that even in a place used for military training, conservation can be a top priority. And so our journey across San Nicolas Island comes to an end. We have walked its lonely shores in our minds, from the ancient past to now. From the lost dogs to the recovering foxes, we have seen the full spectrum of what can happen on a small, isolated island. The story of San Nicolas Island is a story of loss, but it is also, thankfully, a story of hope and renewal. This isolation is what makes island life so precious. But as we have seen, this same isolation is also what makes it incredibly fragile. We must support the careful, science-led conservation that has been so successful here. They are the stewards of this fragile and delicate world. As I stand here on this imaginary cliff, I can almost feel the constant wind and hear the distant cry of a seagull. The island fox and the plains Indian dog, together forever in time, tell the island's complete story. Let it be a reminder that our planet is a collection of these special, fragile places. And let it also be a reminder that it's always time to travel.